Hi everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. I am Karen.
Oops, sorry.
And here comes Matt. What are you holding? That kind of smells good.
It's coffee.
Ooh, it's coffee? I don't
don't
like
like-
coffee.
I drink coffee every day.
Really? Actually, I know a lot of people who drink coffee every single day. But I have to say, it smells really good. I just don't like the taste.
Really? Well, coffee is enjoyed by many cultures all around the world.
That's true, I know, but they're all the same, right?
They're not. There's many different ways to make coffee. For example, do you know Vietnamese coffee?
Vietnamese, is it different than the coffee you get here?
It tastes a bit different. I think there's something else in the coffee grounds itself, but also the way they make it. There's a little metal coffee thing that goes on top of your cup, and usually you have ice in the cup because it's very hot in Vietnam. And then you pour the coffee over. Oh yeah, and also some sweetened condensed milk in the cup.
I like the idea of the condensed milk.
So when you make it, it's very sweet and it tastes delicious.
Really?
Right.
So you are a coffee lover.
Yeah, have you heard of Swedish egg coffee?
So does that mean that they put egg in the coffee, like a raw egg?
It does actually. So not the yolk, but the egg whites are put into the coffee.
Really?
They say it helps to clarify the coffee, and they say it makes the caffeine, makes it stronger, so you get more of a buzz from the coffee.
Have you had it before?
I actually haven't tried that. I mean, it's something I guess I could try at home.
Oh, that sounds really, really interesting. But however, today we're not talking about coffee from different culture. Well, the cultures that you mentioned, what we are talking about Turkish coffee. So let's get into it and learn more about coffee.
Enjoy my coffee.
In Turkey, the traditions concerning coffee are an important part of the nation's culture. Coffee was introduced to Turkey in the 16th century during the Ottoman Empire, and the coffee's brewing method has stayed the same to this day. To make Turkish coffee, you need freshly roasted coffee beans, which are ground into a fine powder. This powder is mixed with cold water in a special pot that has a long handle. Next, the small pot is put in hot sand until the coffee begins to foam. Just before it boils over, the pot is removed from the sand and the coffee, grounds and all, is poured into tiny cups.
So we're looking at part 1 of Turkish coffee, a taste of culture. Well, you mentioned earlier a lot of, interesting different types of coffee around the world, but today we're going to talk about Turkish coffee. But, to start us off, have you ever heard of Turkish coffee?
I have heard of Turkish coffee.
Really?
I've been to Turkey and had Turkish coffee.
You have had?
I have.
Really?
Great.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay.
So let's begin the article. In Turkey, the traditions concerning coffee are an important part of the nation's culture. Coffee was introduced to Turkey in the 16th century during the Ottoman Empire, and the coffee's brewing method has stayed the same to this day.
Wow, it has stayed the same to this day. That means it has never changed throughout history.
That's a long time.
Exactly. So I guess it must be very, very good. That's why it hasn't changed.
That's right. If it's not broken, don't fix it.
That's
so
right.
It's still good.
Okay. Well, to make Turkish coffee, you need freshly roasted coffee beans, which are ground into a fine powder. Okay, so we have this word here, to roast. So when you say to roast something, that means to cook something in an oven or sometimes over a fire. So for example, I always roast potatoes with butter and a little salt. That sounds yummy.
It does sound good. Another vocabulary word we have is powder. Powder is small fine particles of something, usually after it's ground or crushed to make it into a powder. So in this case, we're talking about coffee powder, but you might know some other powders around the kitchen. Like if you want to bake bread, you'll need some flour. That's right. Flour is a powder made from crushed grains or crushed wheat. The example sentence says, during the holiday, people throw water and colored powder on each other.
Oh, I've heard of that before.
Right, that's a holiday in India where
exactly.
they do that. So
I've always wanted to do that.
Yeah, I think it looks really pretty. It's something I have on my bucket list as well.
That's right. I think we also had like some kind of marathon in Taiwan that also did that too, to throw different colored powder.
That's right. I think they did before. I don't know if they still have it, but
I don't know. Okay, well, this powder is mixed with cold water in a special pot that has a long handle. Okay, so the pot that you use it, and then it has a long handle. Next, the small pot is put in hot sand until the coffee begins to foam.
okay.
Wow.
So to foam, meaning you have many bubbles form on top, so it's like it's boiling the coffee, and it's foaming up.
That's right, like very, very tiny bubbles though, right?
Just before it boils over, the pot is removed from the sand, and the coffee, grounds and all, is poured into tiny cups.
Okay, so poured into tiny cups. We have this vocabulary word here, to pour. Basically, it's cause something to flow in a steady stream into a container or maybe a place. So you could say that, pour some milk in my glass or pour some orange juice in my cup. In our example sentence, it says the scientist poured the liquid into a test tube. Okay, so maybe he wants to do some experiments.
Yes, so they said that the coffee, grounds and all, is poured into the cup. So after the coffee is ground into a powder, we can call that powder the coffee grounds. And so they're pouring the coffee with the small little pieces of coffee into the cup, and that you can hopefully settle down in the cup before you can drink your coffee.
That's right. And then another interesting thing that I heard about Turkish coffee is something about fortune telling. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, so as I said, I've been to Turkey and drank the coffee. And so when you finish your cup of coffee,
okay,
a small little cup, there will still be the coffee grounds at the bottom of the cup.
That's right.
And in Turkey, many people say that you can use those grounds to tell about your future or your fortune.
Wow, like about your career, about who you're gonna marry or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I tried to look at mine, but I was like, oh, it didn't look good. It looked like a lot of mud. I thought my future looks muddy.
But did somebody read it for you? Did somebody try to explain what it means?
I didn't. No? I just tried to do it myself.
Oh, okay. That's probably not a good idea.
I think I needed a professional to help me next time.
Okay. Well, how about let's take a short break and we'll be back to learn more. Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny。这2天的课程要介绍 Turkish Coffee 土耳其咖啡。在土耳其啊，有关咖啡的传统是该国文化很重要的一部分。咖啡在16世纪鄂图曼帝国时期被引进了土耳其。那么咖啡的煮法到今天都还维持不变哦。你想要煮土耳其咖啡，就必须有新鲜烘焙的咖啡豆，然后把这个豆子研磨成细粉，然后放在一个有长柄的壶里面跟冷水混合。好，那么接着这个长柄壶呢会被放在热沙当中，直到这个咖啡开始起泡，在这个咖啡沸腾到要溢出来之前，就把这个长柄壶从沙中移开。那咖啡呢会连同咖啡渣一起倒进小杯子里。我们来看单字 roast， 它当动词表示烘烤的意思 ，powder 则是粉末。Matt 老师在解释单字时，他用到 particle，P-A-R-T-I-C-L-E，particle 它可以指微粒、极少量或者是粒子。那例句提到说，在这个节日啊，人们会互相泼水和彩色粉末，这应该就是在讲印度的猴历节吧 ，Holi。Matt 老师他把参加这个节日列在他的 bucket list。好，那我们来学一下 bucket list， 就是指在有生之年一定要完成的事，或者是人生目标清单。那这个用语呢，是源自于 kick the bucket， 这个用语就是指死亡过世的意思。下一个单字 pour， 它可以表达倾倒、倒出，像是倒出液体，或是表达倾泻的意思，它是当动词。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。
好，我们来看这个重点是 make 常见的用法。那么第一种，你可以用它来表达做、制作或是制造。我们用 make coffee 或是 make tea 就可以表达煮咖啡、沏茶的意思。那这时候动词你也可以用 brew B-R-E-W。好，举例来说 ，He made a pot of tea after dinner。他在晚餐后沏了一壶茶。那么第二个，我们可以用 make 去表达使成为、使变得。那么用法是 make 加受词加上形容词或名词。那么这边形容词或名词呢，就是当受词补语用来补充说明这个受词啊，它成为怎么样，或是变得怎么样。举例来说 ，Dancing makes him confident。跳舞使他变得有自信。This app makes learning a pleasure. 这款应用程式让学习成为一种乐趣。好，接回到课文中。
This process makes Turkish coffee quite strong, which is one reason that people usually have a glass of water with their coffee. Another reason is that a drink of water helps cleanse the mouth so that the coffee's strong flavor can be better appreciated. This quality of Turkish coffee makes it suitable to enjoy with sweets, which is why the hot drink is commonly enjoyed with treats like Turkish Delight.
Welcome back, everyone. So we learned that, the method of making Turkish coffee hasn't really changed throughout history. So that means it's a really, really successful one, right? It makes it taste really, really good.
Yeah, and we learned that with this method, that they actually pour it into your cup with the coffee grounds still in it. So continuing with the article, this process makes Turkish coffee quite strong, which is one reason that people usually have a glass of water with their coffee.
That is so interesting because it is so strong. So I'm guessing maybe it's kind of like an espresso, right?
I think, yeah, yes, it's a strong coffee, so I think you want to
balance.
You want to balance it so it's bitter, it's strong, lots of coffee flavor. You can, rinse your mouth out with water and take your time drinking it.
That's very interesting. And we have this vocabulary word here, process, and that is a noun. So process just means a series of actions to produce something. For example, the process of making these machines is very complex. So maybe it's very complicated. There are many, many steps where you have to take in order to make it, right? Okay, and let's continue. Another reason is that a drink of water helps cleanse the mouth so that the coffee's strong flavor can be better appreciated. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think it's so you can, cleanse your mouth between it so you can, it's like with sushi how you have the pieces of ginger. You put a piece of ginger in to cleanse your mouth before trying the next piece so that you can better taste it. So in this case, with every sip of coffee, you cleanse your mouth so you get a new coffee experience.
Okay, sounds like a great idea.
This quality of Turkish coffee makes it suitable to enjoy with sweets, which is why the hot drink is commonly enjoyed with treats like Turkish Delight.
I've actually had Turkish Delight before because one of my friends went to Turkey and she went to travel, so she brought back some souvenirs and she brought back the Turkish Delights. I remember they're quite sweet, like little small pieces in different colors, and then so I would assume they would taste really good with coffee, right?
Yeah, I think usually this Turkish coffee usually have without milk, it's just black coffee. So to have it with something sweet would help to balance with the bitter flavors in the coffee and to make it really, make a nice combination together.
Okay, well, we have another vocabulary word here, flavor, and that is a noun. A flavor basically just means a particular kind of taste. So, for example, you want to go buy some ice cream. There are so many different types of flavors to choose from. You might want to buy, I don't know, chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, cookies and cream. These are all different types of flavors. And in our example sentence, it says, I really enjoyed the light flavor of the dish. Okay. Wow, so we were talking a lot about, like Turkish coffee, and then we have the Turkish Delight. And how about the Turkish ice cream?
Turkish ice cream. Yeah, Turkish ice cream it's it's a delicious ice cream on its own, but you go to have Turkish ice cream many times for the experience.
You are absolutely right.
So sometimes, even though everyone wants ice cream, you go for the experience that the ice cream seller gives you. Because with Turkish ice cream, it's a stickier ice cream.
That's right.
So it has some extra ingredients. It sticks to the spoon. And so the Turkish ice cream seller, they're famous for playing games with the customers.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like they pretend to give you your ice cream and then they take away the cone from you. And they play over and over again as they keep tricking you with the ice cream cone until they eventually reward you with your Turkish ice cream.
Exactly, and I think a lot of people in Taiwan are familiar with this because you can actually buy Turkish ice cream in a lot of the night markets in Taiwan, and I've definitely seen a lot of people playing this game with, somebody selling Turkish ice cream. That just looks really fun. I don't even care if the ice cream sells, if it tastes good or not.
You know what? But the ice cream itself actually is really good. Because it's like a stickier ice cream, it's almost like you can chew it a bit before it melts. So it kind of doesn't melt as quickly in your mouth, and it's almost a little bit chewy and has a different feeling in your mouth than ice cream that you might be used to.
That's just awesome. So, in Turkey, you can get the Turkish ice cream, the Turkish delight, and also you can enjoy the Turkish coffee, right?
Maybe some things you can enjoy together.
Well, thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
刚刚有介绍了煮土耳其咖啡的步骤，那这个煮咖啡的过程呢，就会让土耳其咖啡变得很浓。这就是为什么人们通常会用一杯水来搭配咖啡的饮用，这是其中一个原因啦。那另外一个原因呢，是喝水有助于清洁口腔，这样才能好好的品尝土耳其咖啡的浓烈风味。讲到浓烈，这就让 Karen 老师想到 espresso 就是浓缩咖啡。那刚刚讲到喝水清洁口腔 ，Matt 老师用到一个动词是 rinse。rinse 可以表示漱口漱的那个动作，或者是指清洗、冲洗。我们再来看单字 process， 它是当名词用来指过程、步骤或是程序。那么 flavor 表示味道、风味或是滋味。老师提到冰淇淋的不同口味，像香草啊、巧克力啊、草莓等等。我们学一下 vanilla， V-A-N-I-L-L-A， 它可以当名词来指香草，也可以当形容词来形容香草味的。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看重点 ，so that 它表示以便，为了怎么样怎么样，用来引导表示目的的副词子句，这个 that 可以省略。那如果 so that 后面这个子句，它的主词跟主要子句的主词相同的话，其实你可以把它改成 in order to 加上原形动词，甚至是 to 加原形动词就好。举例来说 ，He took a day off so that 或是 so he could prepare for the competition。那你也可以把它写成 He took a day off in order to prepare for the competition， 或者是 to prepare for the competition。他请了一天假，以便能为比赛做准备。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
In Turkey, the traditions concerning coffee are an important part of the nation's culture. Coffee was introduced to Turkey in the 16th century during the Ottoman Empire, and the coffee's brewing method has stayed the same to this day. To make Turkish coffee, you need freshly roasted coffee beans, which are ground into a fine powder. This powder is mixed with cold water in a special pot that has a long handle. Next, the small pot is put in hot sand until the coffee begins to foam. Just before it boils over, the pot is removed from the sand and the coffee, grounds and all, is poured into tiny cups. This process makes Turkish coffee quite strong, which is one reason that people usually have a glass of water with their coffee. Another reason is that a drink of water helps cleanse the mouth so that the coffee's strong flavor can be better appreciated. This quality of Turkish coffee makes it suitable to enjoy with sweets, which is why the hot drink is commonly enjoyed with treats like Turkish Delight.
Hi guys, I'm Stephen.
And I'm Toi.
We're going to play a game called Guess the Bear, where each of us has 3 words or phrases on these cards. We're going to read 2 sentences for each word, and instead of saying the word, I'm going to say the word bear. Instead, you have 1 minute to guess all 3. Can you do it?
I think I can.
I think you can too. Start the timer. This is a verb. 1, if you want stronger coffee, bear the beans longer. Number 2, we bared the meat over the fire.
Grind, grill,
We
cook.
bared the meat over the fire.
We
If
place
you,
or
if you want stronger coffee,
coffee.
bear the beans longer.
roast the beef.
There you go.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
it. Okay, this is a noun. Next one. My mom adds curry bear to the dish for flavor. Number 2, you can use milk bear in this recipe.
Sauce.
Curry bear.
Curry-
Milk bear.
Curry flavor. Sauce.
Next one. Okay, this is the verb. Bear the hot water very carefully. Number 2, he bared me a cup of tea while we talked.
Boil. I got that one. Oh, cook.
Bear the
Warm
hot
up.
water very carefully. He bared
Cook.
me a cup of tea while we
He
talked.
made me.
I think you were going in the right direction.
What
So
was
this
it?
one was number 1. The word was pour.
Oh,
Okay, so
gosh.
pour the hot water very carefully. And number 2, he poured me a cup of tea while we
Okay.
talked. And the other one was a noun. It was powder. My mom adds curry powder to the dish for flavor. Number 2, you can use milk powder in this recipe.
Well, I definitely would not have gotten that last one because I don't use powder anything. Maybe baby powder in my shoes, but like not curry powder. Okay, your turn. Are
Okay,
you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, 1 minute. Noun, 1 word.
Okay.
We are in the bear of buying a new house. Adoption can be a long and complicated bear.
Process.
Yes. Next one. Noun, 1 word. I don't like anything with a strawberry bear. The bear of the dish is very full and unique.
Could it be flavor?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Last one. Phrase, 2 words. Close the door. Bear, bear, the bugs don't get in. He built a fence. Bear, bear, the dog couldn't get out.
So that?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You got it. Oh
I'm
my
so
gosh.
good at this.
You really are. You're better than me.
No, powder, I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that
I would not
either.
have gotten powder.
You said sauce, you said like, I was like,
the
you're,
things that makes the most
you're
sense to me.
dancing around it. But because
But I've never used the powder. Like if
I
I'm
think
making a
you-
sauce, I'm gonna use all the ingredients to make that flavor.
yeah, you use
Not
fresh
powder.
stuff, not
Yes,
powder.
I make my dishes from fresh ingredients always. But you did much better than I did. Good job.
I didn't get powder. I think I would have gotten it.
See you next time.